Hey everyone, welcome back to Planet FB2X, where I live and breathe Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle every day, at least until I run out of stamina. So, first off, just let me say thanks for checking out my content. I know it's probably your first time here, um, so just wanted to, like I said, say thanks for giving it a shot. Um, I've been putting out videos on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle every day for the past week or so, and I've actually been having a lot of fun doing it. I know they haven't been getting a ton of traction, but I'm not upset about that. I know things take time, but feel free to share the page with your friends, um, and maybe we can get some more traction. So, with that being said, the first thing I wanted to say is today's video is going to be a little different, I guess, than normal. It might go a little longer than I want it to, but I feel like this is kind of something not important, maybe, but something that we don't talk about enough. I would say within the game, and it's cards that, or sorry, not cards, but characters that need new units or just don't even have a runnable unit for that matter. And I'm not talking about units that have multiple of the same name. So, say, for example, Goku or Vegeta, or even Piccolos or Gohans or Vegetos, Cells. There's many different characters of each of those, or many different units of each of those characters specifically. So what I wanted to get more into is more the side characters that we forget about, or we tend to forget about. So with that being said, all images and information are provided by the Dokkan Wiki as usual, and let's just go ahead and hop right in. So the first unit I want to talk about is actually Android 16 here. Um, so Android 16 does have a couple of cards, and he does have the LR with his other two Android friends, 17 and 18. But with that being said, we need one that we can run with the AGL Gohan, really bad. So just give us an AGL Android 16. He doesn't have to be anything spectacular. He doesn't, just make him a support for that saga, and we'll all be happy, I think, because then we'll have somebody to run with the Gohan who can trigger his transformation much easier, and everybody wins. I mean, you guys are pushing. They're pushing this Gohan on everybody anyway over on JP. So why not just give us an AGL 16 to go with him? Moving on, the next character, or characters, I should say, that I wanted to mention was 19 here, and 20, or Dr. Gero. I'm not going to scroll all the way down to Gero, but they should give us a friend summon LR, a new one. It's been a while since we got the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2, and these guys are a perfect candidate for that. You could just give us LR androids 19 and 20, uh, and nobody's gonna complain. It's a good way to get them a decent unit, and without making it a DFE or making it a legendary summon that nobody's gonna summon on anyway. Next, I wanted to talk about the Angels briefly. Uh, the wiki only has Vados and Whis here, but there's all the other ones as well. As you can see from the picture here, there's all the other Angels. Um, I think they're on their way to doing this slowly but surely. Um, we saw this with the introduction of Vados a while back with the free to play Vados, and then now over on JP we have the Int Vados, who's a support type for 4 different categories. She's actually insane. I can't wait till she comes to global. But yeah, so they'll probably eventually make an angel card for each one. We'll probably have a Grand Priest that's some sort of crazy support. They're all available actually in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, which is actually pretty cool. If you guys haven't checked that game out, it's definitely different, and it takes a while to get into and to fully understand, but it actually can be a lot of fun. It actually can be a lot of fun. Okay, so moving on. Bobbity, I think they could maybe do something with, since they did put out the Bobbity and Dabura LR, with that you can get with the battlefield memories, but I think they could definitely do something with Bobbity. Um, they could probably just make him a support for the Majin category, I would say, and he'd probably be great. Or even Terrifying Conquerors or something of the sort. He could, but I mean, Terrifying Conquerors doesn't really need any help. They got enough help. So Youth Baby is the next one. We could definitely use another Youth Baby card, who could just be a support type even. I'm all for new supports. I want them. I really hope that what I think is coming with the support meta, as I previously mentioned in the last video, or not the last video, but in a previous video, I'll leave a link to that one in the description as well. Um, but I think they're doing something. They're changing the support meta where it's not just going to be flat numbers anymore. I go way more in depth into it and why I think that in the video. So if you're interested, feel free to check it out. I'll leave a link in the description, like I said. The next character that I wanted to talk about was actually Botamo here. Uh, I think they could give Botamo his own card. He was in the tournament of power. He wasn't as prominent, but in the Universe 6 versus 7 saga, he was one of the main quote unquote villains. No, so I think they could give him. Obviously, not a Dokkan Fest exclusive. It's not going to sell unless if you make it insanely busted. But even then, that's the only reason people would summon on that. But you could definitely make it a banner unit. A lot of these characters from the show that I'm going over, they aren't really worthy of a Dokkan Fest exclusive card, but they are worthy of having a runnable unit, I think, or a situational unit for that matter, which I am actually a very big fan of situational units, and I know other people are too. So Bojack, even though he's not really a secondary character, we need just a good Bojack and a good full power Bojack as well. So I'm just going to mention that quickly. We need both of those. This AGL one is fodder. The strength one is fodder. The only one that is even runnable next to the LR is this full power Bojack, which is just his TUR state. But we really need one of each of these as well. So next, I feel like we could actually, even though she's also kind of a main, not kind of, she is a main character. I think we need more Bulma cards. They could just function as supports, or again, like I said, different kind of support. Don't make her give attack and defense. Make her do something else. Make her give everybody on the rotation dodge and crit, or everybody double heals, for example. Right? There's Bulma units that this Bulma unit, for example, she heals, right? And I believe this one, the physical one, does too. Does she not? Yeah, recover 8,800, right? So that's they like to do with Bulma cards. Okay, that's cool. So let's make an adult Bulma card, let's say, who gives key +1, attack plus 15%, no defense buff, but then she gives, I don't know, double healing from picking up the same color orbs, and she gives everybody on the rotation crit plus 10%. I think that's pretty good. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. I just think it would work. Somebody would have to mod it and see how that works, but I'm sure they could do something with an adult Bulma card, for example, or they could give us a- anything. Future Bulma. Let's do future Bulma and make her a support for future characters. Or she only buffs Trunks and Mize, or just Trunks, right? Make it make it so it's limited, but it's really busted when you can use it, or when it is viable. So moving on, next I'm gonna go over first form cell here. We don't really have a good first form cell. All the good cells are in perfect form. This second cell form is really good, the 50% support. Um, so most of them are in perfect form. I know I said I wasn't going to go over cell, but first form cell does need a better form of himself. And again, you could just release it alongside the next cell perfect form that you release as a Dokkan Fest, because you know they're going to, or they're gonna eventually make another LR cell, right? So if it's a top legendary summon, okay, well, just make it so this first form cell is a new int type, or SDR type, that is just either a support, or you could make them do damage too and make them be bad defensively, or vice versa, make them decent defensively, or you could make them like a healer, since his whole thing is absorption, right? So you could just make it so he heals a lot. I think that'd be pretty interesting. Moving on, chilled is one that I think definitely could use. Again, not a Dokkan Fest exclusive. You can't. I don't think a Dokkan Fest exclusive chilled would sell very well, but you could release some sort of Frieza, or a Frieza family. So Frieza, King Cold, and Cooler, and then you put chilled on the banner as the banner unit, and people would summon. People would summon on that. Um, Next, I wanted to go over not Kui specifically, but the whole Frieza Force, I feel, could also have a free to play card, similarly to what they just did on JP with the Pride Troopers, where they gave them a free to play card, a summonable card. Um, you could do that, maybe minus the summonable card for the Frieza minions. So like Kui, Apule, those types of characters. Um, Demigra, I've already made a video about the Int Demigra, where I think he deserves an awakening. Demon King Piccolo's offspring only have R cards, like R rarity cards. They could do a friend LR again with them. Um, the Doria, I feel like also could use some sort of banner unit. But you could just pair him and Zarbon and make them one unit. Maybe make them an exchange unit. That would be pretty cool. Um, Maybe Dodoria takes damage and Zarbon does a lot of damage. You could even make it so it's like a turn 3 exchange mechanic, and then on turn 4 or 5 you can transform Zarbon into his bigger form. I'm not, what is it, Super Zarbon or something that it's called. But you could even do that. That would be pretty cool. So Dr. Gero, like I said, you could combine with 19, Android 19, and just um, make a friend summon LR. That'd be perfect for it. I mean, you already did 17 and 18. Why don't you just do 19 and 20 next, right? That's how I feel about it. So Frieza's henchmen, like I said, you could make some free-to-play cards for them. You don't have to make them very good. They can just support or do something for Frieza specifically, or maybe they work well with the Doria and Zarbon card I was talking about them making. Not that none of this is confirmed. Don't take this as, they're gonna do this. That it's likely that they make a lot of these, but I don't I don't have any insight on anything that they're making. This is just units or characters that I think deserve some sort of better card, or maybe they don't even have any runnable or runnable card right now. Okay, so next the Gods of Destruction. There's only Beerus and Champa here, and Topo. I guess he's a god of destruction and training, and then he transforms into it like during the Tournament of Power. But I think again, Super Dragon Ball Heroes has all of them in the game. I think we could eventually be seeing the same thing. They were all in the Tournament of Power. I'm not really sure how they would function as units, but I definitely think that they could do it. So Gogeta, Gohan, Goku, none of those units need new ones. Goku Jr. nobody cares about. We already have the Easy A one. You don't need another one. Bojack's minions, now that I see Gokua, Bojack's minions could actually all use some sort of free to play card or something of the sort. Um, Again, a lot of these units you can't really you could even you could do what you did with the Pride Troopers with them, where you make them the banner card, and then you release a new LR Bojack or something, and people would summon. People would summon, especially if it's a two-sided Dokkan Fest exclusive, and you make them relatively good. People would summon. Um, so moving on, there isn't too much here. Uh, Hercule, there's already enough of them, and there's only one that's even runnable on some teams, which is the Int one. Uh, we don't really need to see a summonable Ginyu Force, considering they're a free-to-play team. Uh, the Kais would be nice to have. A couple of them anyway. I mean, I'd love to have an old man Kai unit that does something silly. Um, that not saying that he wouldn't be useful, but just does something silly. Kami is a card that, or a unit, a character, I should say, that really needs a new a new one. This one's not bad actually for how old he is. This physical one is actually okay, but we still need a new one. And this is actually two of them that I'm really hoping they eventually do. For some reason, I know we have an LR King Cold and Mecha Frieza. I want a King Cold that's actually half decent. I want to be able to run King Cold. I'm not sure why I like King Cold. He's in no next to no episodes, but I don't know. I just always thought they could have done something with King Cold. And then King Vegeta is the other one that I really want a decent unit of. Um, Vegeta is, I would say, my favorite Saiyan character in the show, probably. Either him or Bardock, if I had to choose. But uh, I always wanted a good King Vegeta. I think it'd be really, really interesting to see what his link set would be and just how he would work or what they would do with him, even. So Krillin, we just got a new one. Well, JP just got a new one, so we'll be getting one eventually. Launch, she'll get an awakening soon. The physical one that came out a while back will get an awakening soon. Mass Saiyan could use a new unit, or they could just easy A his unit. Finally, they really need to do that. I've had that guy rainbowed forever, and I actually really like the look of Mass Saiyan. So I really wish they would give him his easy A, so I could make him. It would make him more runnable. Um, Nail, we don't really need another one, at least for now. Nappa, we just got one a while back. So again, we don't really need another one right now. Uh, the Shenrons, I feel you could maybe make uh, like a team card of them, or you could pair them. Even though not all of them are paired, you could definitely make an Ice Shenron with Nuova, since they do show up together, or they argue about who's gonna fight in GT. I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched GT in such a long time, but I'm pretty sure they're arguing about who's gonna fight first. Just kind of how like Goku and Vegeta always do. So Paikuon, we could definitely use a new one of. These ones are all fodder. They're all terrible. The only thing I will say is, if you easy aid this the STR one, when you easy A the STR Super Saiyan 4 Goku, um, they would maybe be runnable together depending on what you do with the Paikuon, because they actually share a very similar link set on Super STR. Which not all, I only know that because when I started playing Paikuon, the STR one actually wasn't nearly as bad as he is now. It's just a lot of units have overtaken him. Um, so Prepui and all of Bobity's minions could use um, could use some sort of free to play card, just like Yamu and Spopovich got recently. So you could do like Pui Pui and Yakon would be cool. You know, that same thing, same idea. Free to play card, make them decent. Um, Moving on, the Red Ribbon Army I don't think is really deserving. Maybe, I mean, you could put some of the robots and then eventually make this. You know what? You might be able to just to add to the artificial life form category, which while it's not lacking, it's not one of the more overly populated categories, I'll say. Um, so Shadow Dragons, like I said, you could make new ones, and you could probably pair them. I would you could make an exchange card with Ice and Nuova, and I think that would be pretty interesting. Make it so you can exchange back and forth, and maybe they. I don't know if they're allowed to do that, but what if they had like a different typing? What if they started with that, right? And exchange units had two types. So imagine Ice Shenron was int type, and then Nuova was STR or something like that. And they, when you exchange them, their types changed. I don't. I think that'd be pretty interesting, and it'd be a different mechanic too, which they gotta think of something new, some sort of new mechanic to keep us enticed. Not that I'm getting bored with the game or anything, but um, introducing new features like this is what's going to keep people playing and get new people to play too. Moving on, I don't really think there's much here. Let's see. Tarble, we have the free to play card that they gave an awakening to recently on JP. That's fine. We don't need a better one. Thouser, actually, the Hera clan, like I said, you could definitely do something with that. They need one. They don't have any good cards by themselves. They only have the Bojack and them. Thouser, you could do a solo card of, I guess, but you'd have to make it another banner unit because it's not going to sell well on as a main unit on a banner. Um, Topo just got a new card over on JP. Toa could use some love, but we know that all the all the Super Dragon Ball Hero stuff is eventually coming. So get yourselves ready for that. I love those banners. I'm a big fan of that game, and I can't wait for them to introduce a lot of that stuff into the game too. Turtles' Crusher Corp, you could definitely do something with. Um, you could definitely do another banner type unit like they did with Thouser's, or whatever you want to call him, Thouser, Salsa. What they did with him and his crew. Um, Oob needs a new unit for sure. I know his LR is good, but we could still use a free to play one maybe, even though the Battlefield Memory one is technically free to play, but it's going to take you a long time to grind those up to rainbow him, especially. Um, None of these units really need anything. Um, West Supreme Kai, definitely the AGL one needs an awakening really bad. really, really bad. And that'll start a new support meta probably. Maybe I shouldn't say probably, but I think it'll start a new support meta that we are already seeing over on JP Start, where supports do new things. So Yakon, like I said, you could definitely pair with Prepui, just like you did with Yamu and Spopovich. You'd be all set. There's another unit covered, free to play card, easy to use, or not easy to use, easy to acquire. So Masu doesn't need any more cards for now. Xenia is part of Bojack's crew, so she could fit into the Bojack, the Hera clan unit I was talking about. That would be pretty interesting if they released. And then Zarbon, like I said, you could pair with the Doria. A lot of these units, I know I'm saying like, oh, just pair them with this, but it's because they come from they all relate, right? Like the Hera clan all relates. So just make it one unit. You don't need to release one unit for each of them. We don't need that. We don't. Most people probably don't even want that. Um, at least not for now. I know I don't. I would like a runnable unit of the Hera clan. I think Xenia and like Bujin or like who else, Bido, are pretty cool actually, and even Demon King Piccolo's like children, like Drum, Simbao, stuff like that is a lot of people don't even know those characters, right? So they wouldn't care, but some of us, these characters actually kind of mean something, right? Or we care about them to some degree. But anyways, that's going to be it for the video, guys. Feel free to leave a like, comment, or subscribe. Every little bit helps. I hope you guys liked the video, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.